What is up, my dudes? My name is Rane and welcome to Making Metal in FlStudio Part 2, where we are going to be preparing ourselves for writing the song. And believe me, I know how much you just want to jump right in and start recording, but I've seen it a bunch of times with a friend of mine. You start writing the intro, get to the verse, maybe even the chorus, but then you just run out of ideas and leave the project forever. So instead of doing that, we're gonna think about the speed of our song, the tuning, what feeling it should have, and we're going to put a little arrangement together. And it's just going to be like a guiding line that you can walk on to get to your goal, which is, well, hopefully finishing a song. And the thing is, you don't have to stick to it one-to-one. Maybe an idea sounds cool on paper, but in the end product it sounds kind of weird. You can always change that. Plans in the real world change all the time. And after all, it's just a guide and not the Holy Bible. And believe me, I currently have to write a lot of plans and documentations for school, and there's no one in this universe that hates them more than I do. But if this is your first song in months, or first song at all, then having a guide like this can help you immensely. So just roll with it and make a plan with me, okay? Okay, cool. But enough talking, let's freaking go! Alright, there we are back in FlStudio, and if everything worked last time, then you should be able to click on a mixer track and select an input. In my case, that would be input 1, and if your guitar is plugged in and everything is working fine, then you should be able to hear everything. But we're not here to play, we're here to plan our song and figure stuff out, like the tempo and stuff like that. So first, we need an idea. That could be a melody, that could be a riff, that can be anything. And luckily, I'm a guitar player and I write riffs all the time. And sometimes there's a cool riff that I write and then I decide to record it onto my phone, which I did a few days ago. Let's hear what I got. And that gives us already a little bit of information. We have the speed and we have the tuning, which is in my case drop A. Now we just need to set the speed in FlStudio, and that is very important. And I'll show you why in a second. Let's try 160. Okay, let's play on every tick. That's a little bit slow. Let's play it like double time. Yeah, that's a little bit too fast. Let's put it at 120. Oh, that's perfect. Nice. Okay. Well, then we already have our tempo and our tuning. The reason you want to set your tempo like right at the beginning is because it will make things so much easier in the end, especially when you start programming drums. For example, let's just record with the metronome real quick. And if you want to program drums, all you need to do is put the kick on like every beat. You don't have to manually figure out where every hit is. You can just go by the grid. And if everything works, you should be able to just click play and everything should line up. So that's why you want to set the tempo like right at the beginning, because once you start getting into programming MIDI stuff like drums, orchestra, whatever, you want that stuff to be on the grid because it will make your life so much easier. So just good. So now that we have that, we should figure out what mood we want our song to be in. And that's relatively easy. You just need to pick some notes that evoke a certain feeling. For example, if I play this, it sounds very happy and neutral. But if I play this, that sounds kind of badass. That sounds kind of heavy. So it all depends on the notes that you're playing, and those few notes can convey quite a lot of feeling. If you want to, you can just pick 4 chords and base everything on that. For example, in my song Chance, we have when we're given a chance, we won't take it for granted. We'll be standing side by side. Or in my deathcore song, I actually did the same. I just picked 4 chords and then I put you might wonder why you fell, thought you did well. Welcome, my friend, to hell. So yeah, using 4 chords can work perfectly fine. You don't have to come up with insane riffs for every part of your song. Sometimes a few notes is all you need. So now that we've got all of that figured out, we can go to the arrangement. And this is going to be a very important step because the arrangement is usually what cracks you up at the end. Alright, so that riff that I just played is 100% an intro. I think that's pretty obvious to most of us. But I feel like if I transition into a verse right after that, that would feel weird. So I'm going to put a main riff in there, and then we're going into the verse. And how to write riffs for intros, main riff, verse, and so on, I'm going to talk about that not in the next video, but the video after that. Now, verses are interesting because sometimes you have two different riffs in the same verse, sometimes you have a build-up, sometimes you have a bridge, it can be very different. In fact, let me pull up Chants again, and let's play the verse. So here we have a first riff, verse A, and now we go up, and now we have the B riff, or verse 2, whatever you want to call it, or the bridge, or the build-up, whatever, which is slightly different and higher than the first riff. And from there, we go into the chorus. Rane, take it from here. And after the chorus, we go back to the first riff that was played in the first verse. Except there's no vocals. And then we go into verse 2. So you could call that portion like the main riff or the bridge into the second verse. And here, as you can hear, we did not play the second riff again. We just went straight from riff A into the chorus. We did not play verse B. So there's a lot of things that you can do. And what you want to do is something that you will probably find out while you're recording it, because you will be like, this feels kind of too short. This feels kind of too long. And you'll be like, okay, I'm going to add a B riff here. I'm going to take it away here. I'm going to keep vocals out of here, blah, 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 blah. So you can plan that ahead in the arrangement, but that's probably going to change. That's why I said earlier that plans change, and that's totally okay. You don't have to do things one by one. So yeah, in this case, I'm going to include a build-up. I'm actually going to try and put in as much as I can so that I can show you guys how to write all that different stuff. So this tutorial series is as informative as it can be. And then after the build-up, we're of course going into the chorus. After the chorus, similar to what I did in Chants, I'm going to put a riff in between the chorus and when my vocals come back in. In that case, that will be the main riff. Then we go back into the verse. And then I could go back into the build-up and chorus, but instead I'm going into a solo and then back into the chorus. Then after the chorus, we go into a bridge that leads into a breakdown. Hell yeah. And because we only have 2 choruses so far, I'm going to go back into the chorus. And then after that, we're going into an outro. I would recommend that you don't make these things too long. Your first song doesn't have to be a 10-minute epic, okay? If you want to write progressive metal and like make a 10-minute song, well, that's fine with me, but that's going to make things a lot harder for you. I would recommend just stick to a somewhat simple arrangement like I'm doing right now, and you will be golden. But yeah, looks like we have everything that we need. We have our speed, we know what tuning we have and what mood it's going to be in, and we even have our arrangement right here. So, looks like part 2 of the tutorial series is now done. Tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to get a good guitar tone, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye bye bye!